Today, fellas, I have a special guest with me. We're going to be talking about hypnosis today. This is a very interesting topic to me because I'm always looking for ways we can become more masculine, and all that really means is become more manly, become more assertive, become more proactive, more capable, more responsible, more able to create the effects we want in our reality. And hypnosis, from my understanding, is a tool you can use to achieve different results, whether it be improve your physical health. It may be emotional issues you're having, mental issues. Hypnosis can be used in so many different ways. So we have an expert here with us today, brother. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do? Obviously, you're certified hypnotist, but can you tell us what you do and what you're all about?
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Trey. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for having me today for this interview, this live interview. It's a great pleasure to be here and to share with you some information about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. I'm Greg Plucinski. I am from Poland, but I live in the United Kingdom, Southampton, a great place to live, to be honest. And yeah, we're connecting from different places in the world, but it's a fantastic place to be. Yeah, I've been certified. Well, I am certified hypnotherapist from Jacquin Hypnosis Academy, and I've been using the hypnosis for myself and for my client for just about a year now, a little bit longer than a year, and I can see a tremendous improvement in my client's life. So that's the main thing. So I'm bringing something better, so whatever the issue is, not necessarily issue, but if someone is looking for improving performance, hypnotherapy is a great as well to do that. Yeah.
Excellent, brother. So can we start off with the basics, man? What is hypnosis?
Yes, yeah, of course. So hypnosis is a trance-like mental state in which the people experience increased attention, concentration, and suggestibility. While hypnosis is often described as a kind of a sleep-like state, it is better, I think, expressed as a state of focused attention. Focused attention, sometimes vivid fantasies, and heightened suggestibility. People in a hypnotic state often seem to be sleepy or kind of zone out, but in reality they are in a state of hyper awareness, and the trance-like experiences aren't all that uncommon, because, to be honest, everyday trance states are part of our common human experiences. So, for example, such as getting lost in a good book. So when you're reading a good book, you sometimes get lost. Or maybe another example, driving down a familiar stretch of road with no conscious recollection. So we all have that feelings that when we drive, we've got a feeling that we drive almost on autopilot. Another example could be when we pray or when we meditate, we're losing actually kind of a consciousness, and our unconscious mind takes control. So yeah, so these are examples when kind of everyday trance is happening. So in regards to the hypnosis, the mind in trance has a shallow critical function and an increased awareness to suggestion, but only those suggestions that the consciousness and our subconscious mind will find useful, and then they could be assimilated and become the client's or the person's new reality. So in a few words right now, state of hypnosis for someone who would like to use hypnosis is basically the state of awareness, being more focused on insight, on our emotions and a memory, We are in the trance, but we are still conscious what's happening. A lot of people telling that they are afraid of being hypnotized, and they are afraid of hypnotherapists or hypnotists sending a negative suggestions. That is impossible, because our mind, our subconscious mind and our conscious mind, as I said before, it will only accept the positive suggestions. So if there is something against your will, even during the hypnosis, it cannot be accepted. That's the truth. It might happen during the hypnosis that the person will fall asleep spontaneously, but that person will wake up spontaneously after some time, just like after a short nap. So even without my suggestion to take that person out of trance by counting, for example, from 5 to 1, that person, if I would leave that person on its own, so that person will wake up automatically after a few moments or few minutes. Yeah, so that's in the few words what the hypnosis is.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that, man. That was definitely clear. So what is the difference between hypnosis and hypnotherapy?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, hypnosis basically is a tool that can be used for therapeutic treatment, and a hypnotherapy is the use of that tool. And that's in the few words. That's it. So hypnotherapy is a process that uses the state of hypnosis to make a lasting change, to free the person from negative emotions or beliefs. And the goal of a hypnosis session is always for the benefit of the client and to bring about a lasting change, a beneficial change in the client's mind. Yeah, so in a few words, hypnosis is a tool which is used by the hypnotherapy. So the hypnotherapy is using hypnosis as a tool.
Okay, so here's a question that's unique to me. What is the difference between regular hypnosis and self-hypnosis? Like, is there a difference?
There is slightly difference between the regular hypnosis and the self-hypnosis. Obviously, you have to learn how the self-hypnosis work. Yeah. So the first of all, you would have to go through the session, hypnosis session with the hypnotherapist or hypnotist. And then once you learn during that session how to self-hypnotize yourself, then you obviously you can do that. You can do that. It is slightly more difficult to hypnotize yourself, but once you become a master of that, once you practice this, it's almost identical as you would be going to see a therapist. So yeah, there are slightly differences. So right now, being an experienced a therapist, I can use self-hypnosis to help myself to overcome some everyday, the issues I have as everyone human being. But on the beginning, I remember then when I was having some issues, or I was having some questions which were hard to answer, and I was trying to do self-hypnosis. It didn't work in the beginning, but I discovered that it just needs to be time. It has to have the time, and I remember that I was using the help of my other therapist friends, and by using the hypnosis on myself, I was step by step gaining that confidence, and it was much better for me. So yes.
Okay, cool. So I guess the next question would be, how does hypnosis work, and why should someone pay attention or value hypnosis? Why should somebody maybe give hypnosis a try? Maybe they've been trying other things, it hasn't been working. Mm-hmm. Why is hypnosis working?
That's a good question, actually. It's a quite common question. So to answer that question, Uh, you may not undergo hypnosis during your first session. So the first session is basically to talk with the therapist about your goal, about your issue, about your problem. And so the first session usually is about 1 hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So when I, or the therapist builds a trust and connection with the person. Yeah. So that is very important. And then once that connection it's been built, that trust has been built, everything it's been explained, and then the therapist will go through and obviously the therapist will explain the process, how it's going to be. Then the therapist is using repetitive verbal cues to guide the person into the trance-like state. And once the person is in that receptive trance-like state, the therapist will suggest that person to work towards achieving a certain goals, or overcoming an issues, to help to visualize that person live, and a guide towards making a healthier decision in that person's lives. So the trance-like state that the person is entering may appear like a sleep in many ways, but that person is, as I said before, is fully awake, fully aware of what is going on. Yeah. And quite often, because that person is in a heightened state of mind, of focus, that person may be more opposed, that person could be more open to suggestions, to proposals from the therapist, versus to the normal mental state, where your conscious mind quite often is ignoring or kind of brushing off the problem. And that's what's happening quite often, that a person thinks that, yeah, that problem doesn't exist. Or sometimes person could see that problem, but what they see some symptoms of the problems. They don't see the root cause of the problem. So that's why during the hypnosis, we kind of taking the conscious mind away, we're letting the conscious mind to go away, while we concentrate on the subconscious, where all the problems are. And from there, we getting rid of all the issues. And when the session is complete, a therapist will wake up the person from the trance-like state, or that person will basically exit on its own from the session. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so next question is, how many sessions does it typically take for someone to overcome a challenge or get a result? Let's say someone comes to you to get rid of a smoking habit, for example. I know that's like a typical thing people come to use hypnosis for. How many sessions does it normally take to overcome something like that?
Yeah. That really depends on the person. What is very important is our mindset. So if we are skeptical, if we don't believe what is going to happen, it's going to be quite difficult to do that. Maybe not that difficult, but it would require more sessions. But once you are open, and once you believe that what's going to happen, it is going to happen, the results are much quicker and much better. So efficiency is almost 90%, which is quite important. Another factor I noticed from experience, that quite often person has to reach the moment in life where the problem is so big, where that person was trying to reach for a help in so many different ways, and nothing helped. So this is the moment where quite often people approaching, the hypnotherapist to help. So we are more like a last resort of help. And so when the person reaches that level and knows that nothing else will help, this is the quite good moment with the mindset that the efficiency of hypnosis is 90% or even more than 90%, and that's been what I said just right. It's been approved by researchers. So it's not something I'm just talking out of nowhere. I'm talking based on my experience and also based on researchers. So it could be that one session could be enough for someone. For other people, could be more session, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions. So some therapists will tell you to begin hypnosis therapy with 4 to 5 sessions. Sometimes depends how big the problem is. And as I said before, we only see the symptoms at the beginning. So I need to get to the very root cause of the problem, and that could take a time as well. Our mind and our body should process all the changes. So therefore, a second or the third session might be needed. Sometimes on the request of the client, kind of a maintenance session is needed as well, but that really depends on the person. Yeah. So if person feels that there is something else to be done, obviously we can do that on another session. But with different type of hypnosis, which we're gonna talk in a moment, we can speed up the process. So in a few words, it could be one session, it could be 2, 3, 4, even 5 sessions. Really depends on what kind of type of hypnosis a person is using, a therapist is using, how deep and how big the problem is, and depends on the mindset and the problem itself, how big the problem is for that person. Yeah.
Okay, so so let's go into now what are the different types of hypnosis.
Yes, yeah. So there are a few different types of hypnosis or therapies. I kind of divide them between a traditional a trance-based protocols, and the other one is conversational hypnosis. So while trance-based protocols are often the most effective, sometimes a more indirect approach is required. So this is where the conversational hypnosis comes in, and it's often called indirect hypnosis. So this technique typically uses stories and allegories instead of direct hypnotic suggestions. So these stories help the unconscious mind deliver solutions on its own, which is very, 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 very handy and very, very useful. And one of the main differences between a traditional hypnosis and a conversational hypnosis and other hypnotic techniques is that it can bring the person to trance with the eyes open. So many believe that to be in the hypnosis, you have to have your eyes closed, which is simply not the case. And conversational hypnosis is the best proof here, and uses a natural trance to help get unconscious mind out. So to get help unconscious mind to work towards to solve the problem, and get conscious mind away for a while. And that's happening even when the eyes are open. And that is I think great thing about a conversational hypnosis. Hypnosis takes natural trained states. Your mind already creates and helps you use them to make good changes. Some hypnotists say that conversational hypnosis is like using a backdoor to a subconscious mind. So I think is a great metaphor to that. Yeah. So that's basically it. So again, in a few words, I categorize type of hypnosis to be traditional, more protocol-based hypnosis and conversational hypnosis. And I find out both hypnosis very useful. So it really depends on the person, it depends on the problem. So the first thing what I do, I listen to the person. I let that person talk. I let that person to express everything. I let that person to tell me everything. And by using the right questions, by using the stories and metaphors, I am able to get that person with the eyes open into the trance, and the subconscious mind delivers solution on its own. Yeah.
Okay, so another question I would say is, where can hypnosis be helpful or most effective for someone?
Okay. Yes, good question. Another good question. So hypnotic states, to be honest, have been used for healing since humankind has existed. But because hypnosis carries the stereotypes of quite often of stage performance, it can be misused for so-called entertainment and has been portrayed in the media as something mysterious and magical, where quite often people think that being in the hypnotic state, that person is out of control, which is not true. However, hypnosis is a genuine therapeutic tool, and it can be used as an alternative medical treatment for several different conditions. So with hypnosis, we can treat mental, emotional, physical problems. They can be solved or alleviated. Also, both problems like relationships and psychosomatic are problems where hypnosis help. And what are these psychosomatic issues? They quite often are phobias and fears. They can be addictions, compulsive behaviors. They can be mood disorders, including depression. They can be eating disorders. It could be trouble showing emotions. They can be various types of pain, including emotional pain, chronic pain, insomnia, and psychomatics disease like IBS, which is the irritable bowel disorder. So many different issues people might have. Hypnosis is a really great tool to cure them. And in a few words, hypnosis is basically or primarily used to improve the quality of life. So in fact, you don't have to have a specific problem, because there are always areas where we can improve our life and our functioning. And really, by using a regular hypnotherapy, we can constantly eliminate non-constructive emotions. Yeah, we can eliminate old beliefs. We can eliminate old patterns which are no longer of use in our life, to bring the balance to our life. And what is also interesting, because I've mentioned about a relationship, and that hypnosis is as well a great tool to help in relationship issues. So hypnosis is not only the tool where it could be used to resolve issues, but equally it could be used, and it is, to enhance performance. And I'm talking about performance in business, for example. So business acumen could be an area where we could improve our life. It could be a sport performance. And I think what is most important for relationship, a sexual performance, which is a great area where a lot of people, especially men, suffer. So by using hypnosis, we can really improve our life, our sexual life, and overcome so many different male sexual problems. Yeah.
Okay, so can you demystify hypnosis? You know, some people have like their own misconceptions about hypnosis, me including me. You know, before I got into it, I thought it was kind of something to stay away from. You know, I don't want nobody to take control of my mind or whatever, you know. So can you kind of tell us what is true about hypnosis and what is false or myths?
Yes, there are still quite a lot of myths about hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and people don't know, and therefore they making wrong decisions, or they don't make decision at all. Or decision could be, I'm not going to see the therapist because this is not true. So although hypnosis is becoming more accepted in traditional medical practices, still many myths about hypnosis persist. And right, so I think I can bring about 5 or 6 myths, and I can tell you about them. So the first myth would be that everyone can be hypnotized. Suggests that about 10% of the population is highly hypnotized. And although it's possible to take almost everyone to the trance-like state, there are people who have difficulties to be hypnotized. So if we would take, let's say, of few factors, I can bring them again quite quickly. So one more time. So our mindset, it's a factor. Yeah, whether we believe in the hypnosis, or if we don't believe, it's gonna be harder. Depends on the problem. Depends on how big the problem is. Yeah. So these few factors are affecting, you know, how person could be, whether the person could be hypnotized or not. But again, out of 10 people, 2 people might have a difficulty to be hypnotized. Another myth is that the people aren't in control of their body when they are hypnotized. I think I've mentioned that before. That's absolutely not true. The person is completely in control, and in control of the mind, control of the body during the hypnosis. And despite what you might see with the stage hypnosis, you will still remain aware of what's happening. You will still remain of control, and you will be in control of what you are doing and what's being what are you being asked for to do? And basically, if you don't want to do something you are asked to do under the hypnosis, you won't do it. Yeah, so that's another myth. One more could be that hypnosis is the same thing as sleep. So this is a myth, because you might look like you are sleeping, but you are awake during the hypnosis. You are just in a deeply relaxed state. Your muscles are relaxed. Your muscles will become limp. Your breathing rate is slowing down. You may become being a little bit drowsy, but you are in control. You're not sleeping. Although it might happen that person could spontaneously fall in sleeping, but it will wake up without a problem. Another myth could be that some people saying that they can't be hypnotized over the internet. And this is interesting, because although many smartphones, applications, and different internet videos promote self-hypnosis, they are likely ineffective. But since hypnosis and hypnotherapy is a safe process, and there is no risk associated with it when performed by a specialist, that kind of therapy can be easily performed remotely or online, if we want to say. Yeah. So the client communicates via an audio video connection, and quite often using software or platforms like Zoom, Messengers, or Google Meeting. I personally use all of them to communicate with the client. So to ensure the maximum effectiveness of a therapeutic session, I'm recommending to use the headphones and a camera in a laptop or phone, or smartphone. Yeah. Although I think the better tool is laptop. If we use a smartphone, quite often might be interrupted by someone else calling us. So it's better to use probably the laptop. But everything is okay. So, and thanks to these and the tools we have, therapists can observe the person reactions and watch over the course of the session. And during the session, obviously, with a client, depends on the type of therapy. But if we talk about a traditional therapy, where the client closes his eyes and follow the instruction and listen to what the therapist is saying, and basically the person is following therapist's voice and the content that the words carry, for the purpose of kind of a shallow or calm down a little bit of our conscious mind, and to let our unconscious mind to be more open to communicate with us. So therefore, I'm mainly using an online hypnosis, and there are several advantages to use an online hypnosis versus a stationary hypnosis. So the first one is that obviously the voice comes from the headphones. If we use the headphones, if the person is using the headphones, and it's like in your head, yeah, or in the head of the client. So therefore, the process goes faster and deeper. Another advantage is that there are no communications and territorial restrictions. So we can work remotely from different parts of the world. I'm in UK, you are in America, and we still can have a session. You know? Another good thing is that the session could be conducted outside standard hours. which is a great thing. Basically, the client schedules available hours from my schedule, and once we agree, it works. Another good thing that the cost of reaching therapies is reduced, because you don't have to drive to see the therapies, to be face to face. Yeah, it's easier. You're saving in time. You're saving. You're not wasting time for commuting, and also in the era of COVID threat, an online contact gives you, or give the person, the feeling of complete security. And to be honest, you can participate in the session even if you have a cold. Yeah, it's not gonna affect me. It's not gonna affect the therapist. So all of these things, I think, that are great thing, and using the hypnosis online is very effective. And actually, from my clients and my experience, clients who have opted for a stationary and online sessions, then emphasize the advantage of online session. What they're saying, that the process went deeper, and it was easier to change. And also they felt more comfortable. And after the session, they did not have to travel back home. They are already in their homes, and they could basically, they can wake up, they can make a cup of tea or coffee, or if they want to stay in the position where they are, they can stay, or they can lay down and think and let the process to work. So yes, so I find out online hypnosis a fantastic, a great and an efficient way of therapy. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, excellent, brother. So more of a specific question now, specific to the clients I typically help, which is men. Usually I help them, around the topics of relationship and meeting women and confidence. One of the questions I get a lot is, how can a man feel more self-worth in regards to women, feel more worthy of beautiful women, feel more worthy of having a healthy relationship with a beautiful woman? What can hypnosis do in regards to that?
Yes, that's another good question. And so basically the question was, can hypnosis help men to be more worthy for women? Yeah, to be more self-confident. Yes, of course. Yeah, and hypnotherapy can help the person to learn to cope with the conflict, the inside conflict, or to manage conflict emotions, if you would like to say more easily. So the hypnosis can help to build the confidence, or to restore confidence, and therefore improve the relationship. Quite often we have a fear of being rejected, and of being rejected by another person, in this case by another woman. Yeah, and being rejected is something many of us fear. And whether it's a social context, or at work, or as I said before, whether it's something where we want to achieve from our relationship, hypnosis is a great tool to do that. Fear of rejection is a symptom that derives from anxiety. And when a person's anxiety rises, some of the symptoms could be an increased heart rate. We might feel hot or cold flushing. Our stomach could shrink a little bit. We might have that feeling of shrinking, you know, the stomach, and we might have a panic attack. So these are all the classic symptoms of our flight or fight responses. And the anxiety is caused by our own, quite often, by our own negative thoughts, lack of confidence in certain areas of our life, and low self-esteem. And this really can cause us to avoid the situation altogether, as we kind of negatively forecast the outcome before the event has taken a place. So the fear of rejection, low self-confidence, negative thinking, all this together, they are our issues, and these issues are in our subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind holds our emotions, memories, and our inappropriate behavior patterns. So by using hypnosis, we can very effectively boost our confidence and change all the old patterns from our subconscious mind, and therefore we can improve our relationship. Yeah, because when we become more confident, the relationship is it works much better. Yeah. Or even if you would like to approach the person we don't know yet, but being more confident, we kind of letting the fear to go away, and we are more open to have a conversation with women. Yeah.
Nice, man. So basically, man, from my understanding, from the information you've given us, hypnosis is essentially a tool that can be used to basically change your life. You know, it can be used to improve your mental health. It can be used to overcome fear. It can be used to boost confidence. To me, it's a valuable tool, and it's part of the reason why I reached out to you, because I started to have an interest in it, because I'm always looking for different ways to evolve as a man and just be able to achieve whatever goal it may be, or overcome whatever challenge I'm facing in life, and also to be able to help my clients at a higher level by having this understanding and helping them leverage this tool of hypnosis. So
Yes,
I think that's mainly all the questions I have for you. I did meet someone, I think someone asked a question. Let me just check.
okay.
Daniel said, thanks for us interesting content so far. Got me thinking, who should go to a psychologist and who should go to a hypnotherapist? You know how to answer that?
Yeah, there are certain issues people have, and with more mental issues, let me just quickly have a look in my book. There are certain contradictions where actually hypnosis is it's not a best solution for the person, and that person should go to see psychologist than the hypnotherapist. Let me just quickly have a look here. Just a moment.
Good question. What the answer is to that.
Yeah, so the important factor here is that so the contradictions relating to hypnotic techniques. So person who is suffering with neurosis should see a specialist, psychologist, for example. Person who is suffering from psychosis as well. Another contradictions relating to hypnotherapy is pathological personality disorders. It could be schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, epilepsy, substance-induced psychosis, narcolepsy, severe heart disorders, comprehensions difficulties. People suffering all of these different issues, they should see a more specialist, more psychologist than hypnotherapist. There are some conditions which are not really contradicted, but they would need to be, they should have consideration. So the first one would be a pregnancy. Yeah. So if woman is pregnant, that person should consider more carefully whether should go to see a psychologist versus hypnotherapist. Depression, although I found out that hypnosis is a great tool for depressions, again, it really depends on the person, on the person consideration whether that person should go and see psychologist or psychiatrist versus to go and see hypnotherapist. Another conditions which are not contradicted, but they need to be considered are people suffering from asthma, for example, alcohol and drugs, different type of medications, Parkinson's or stroke. There are a few more, but I think that would be enough. Yeah, so there are some contradictions which a person should really consider to see more psychologists or psychiatrists than hypnotherapists.
Gotcha. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man, for sharing all this insight and wisdom with us. Before we come to an end, can you let us know if anyone get in contact with you, whether they would like some of your services in regards to hypnosis, or maybe get more information about it? How can they get in contact with you?
Yes, yeah, of course, no problem. Yeah, before we finish, before I give you and all of people listening to us, watching us, some information about how to contact me personally or you, I would like to mention one more thing, which I think is equally important to everything I've said before, and this is the question which I hear quite often. And the question is, can hypnosis help with male sexual problems? And I think this is very important to mention that. And just to say a few words at the end of our life. As we all know, intimacy with our partner is a very important part of our fulfilling relationship. And quite often, this includes our physical intimacy. So when the sexual problem crop up, it can cause a big tension and a lead really to difficulties, and whether you are in relationship or not. So the common concerns for men right now are problems with a premature ejaculation. Another problem is erection. And quite often, what I hear from my customers is a problem with losing our sexual drive or loss of our libido. There are a few more problems as well, but I think the first what we should do, we should see our doctor or GP in UK, yeah, general practitioner, and this is the first I think first step, good step we should take, and from that moment the doctor should be able to explore what could be a cause of our problem. And because the problem, the issue, the main root cause problem could be a physical, could be psychological, or it could be a combination of both. Common psychological causes include depression, stress, relationship issue, and anxiety, and that's all our sexual performance. And depending really what in the first instance your doctor would say, there are a few treatment options, including medication, of course. It could be behavioral therapy, psychological treatment, and obviously hypnotherapy. What we should remember that stress and anxiety can often fit into someone experiencing sexual problems. And believe me that the hypnotherapy is a fantastic tool for stress and anxiety problems. And as we know, as I said before, we can, by using the hypnotherapy, we can improve someone's self-confidence, self-esteem, visualization about their lives, and therefore we could take that person to be in another state, to be more open for the new relationship, or improve, the current relationship. So yeah, I think that is quite important. That's why I was thinking to bring that subject for our conversation as well. So in regards to the contact, yeah, I can, as I said before, I work online. I can see the people obviously face to face in my house. So anyone who is listening us from UK, they are very welcome to see me face to face. I am based in Southampton in UK. Obviously later on I can provide a phone number, my website, email address, so anyone can contact me through all these different ways. I can be contacted as well through you, Trey. So if anyone is reaching you, then please forward that person to me. And obviously, if anyone would like to contact you, it's going to be done the same way. So I will leave my phone number, my email address, my website later in the comments here under the live. And yes, everyone is very, very welcome to contact me, and I am very very happy to help people to be better version of ourselves.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate you for sharing this insight and wisdom on hypnosis. It's a very unique topic that I've never really spoke much about. I don't think I've spoke about it at all in this group. So this is very unique information. You're giving a lot of value by providing this for us. And yeah, man, so I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next presentation. Have a great day. Peace.
Thank you so much, bro.